Hi, I'm Lance with Ultimate Canine, and today we are going to talk about dog toys. We're going to talk about pet dog toys, stuff for working dogs. I have Malinois. I'm a Malinois guy, so we're going to talk about the durable, the weak, the good, the bad, the dangerous, and everything in between. So to get started, we're going to talk about the stuffies, the cloth toys, the toys that everybody loves, okay? So this guy's filled with some plasticky wrap to make some noise, to make it more interactive for your dog. Tail's got some squeakers in it, some stuff like that. This seems all good and fun. We have a couple more examples. We got this guy here. He's got a little rope on him. He seems fun. We got a bowl of vegetables. I guess that's what this is supposed to be. And they got squeakers and all sorts of fun stuff in them. The problem with this, in these types of toys, are the human side as well as the dog side. So when the humans give these to a dog, we leave them unattended with them. And the stuffing in this is a huge choking hazard. I would say it's the #1 choking hazard besides socks, things of that nature. So your dog destroys this and then they choke on it or have a blockage. And that's why it's so dangerous. Now, the way the pet industry made these is so you pay $15, $10, $20, $30 for some of these cloth toys. Your dog destroys them and you think, wow, my dog really loves that. And then you go buy more, and then more, and then more. Now let's say your dog doesn't destroy these and they just play with them, carry them around. They tend to get really disgusting after a short period of time. They get smelly, they get gross. Just not a good time. And they're teaching your dog one fundamental thing, which is not fair. So this pillow here, this is just a pillow for a couch or whatever. This and this is not made of that big of a difference in material. This is filled with almost the same exact stuffing as this snake here. So if your dog destroys this pillow after you've played with it and taught it to play with this snake, you're unfair to tell your dog or to punish them or get mad at them for destroying pillows, comforters, blankets, your clothes, your couches, anything that's made of material, because you've told them it's okay and you've actually rewarded them that it's okay to destroy these things and then gut them like it's a small animal, because that's what they're essentially doing. So if you have a set of $5,000 leather couches and your dog digs through the leather to get to the stuffing that you've taught it to chew on, you created that problem, not your dog. So I'm not a fan of these. To me, they're a waste of money and they're teaching your dog bad habits, and they're very, very dangerous. So the snake, the little rope guy. Now ropes by themselves aren't too bad. They're still material strings, just woven together differently than, say, a pair of clothes or a shirt or so forth. They're not too bad. You just have to be careful. If your dog starts to destroy things that are made of material, then you'd want to take the ropes away too. Ropes aren't too bad. Now, for pets and working dogs alike, the #1 toy that I would recommend to start out with is Kongs. Now this is a black Kong, and most people do not realize that Kongs are rated by strength. The pink is the weakest, and then it's the baby blue, and then it's the red, and then it's the black Kong. Now some really powerful dogs can chew the snowballs, or the snowmen sections, as a lot of people call them. They can chew those off. If your dog is that powerful in doing that, you can get a Kong ball. You cannot buy them from a pet store. It's just a hard Kong ball and it's got a hole in it, and those are virtually indestructible. Same with what's called a Barrett ball. They're on the same level. They're virtually indestructible. This Kong here has been hit by my lawnmower about 4 times and it's still in pretty decent shape. Just got a cut on the bottom and a little bit of one on the top. Now, what I use my Kongs for is my Kongs are in my dog's crates. They're laying around my house because they're not a primary reward for the dog. Now, you need to differentiate if you use a reward in training of things the dog can chew on to pacify the time, to keep them occupied, or things that are interactive that you're trying to build a ton of drive out of the dog. So for pets, I would recommend a Kong, stuff like that. Those could lay around the house, and you can put a rope through the end here. You can buy them with ropes on them so they can be interactive and a little bit more fun. Now, if you leave your dog unattended with that, they are going to chew the rope off. They are going to destroy that stuff and possibly ingest it, so you shouldn't leave that unattended. Another brand of toy, which I think is really, really good, and they've created a lot of good toys, is Chuck It. Now, this is a Chuck It ball. This is a medium, and you can see here that this thing has some wear on it. Now, I use this a lot with my Malinois. I have Belgian Malinois, which are high energy, high drive working dogs for the most part. Obviously, every dog has a character, and some aren't as crazy as the others. But this ball is 6 months old. It's got some wear and tear on it, but I don't let my dogs chew on this. We play with it, I take it away. Unlike the Kong, which sits around, and you can do plenty of things with that, that's to pacify the time, so when they get bored in their crate, they have something to redirect on instead of chew your crate up, or your house. So, Chuck It makes this, and this guy too. Another thing you shouldn't let your dog just have unattended, because they will destroy it. It's pretty durable. This thing floats. It's good for the water. So does this guy. So you can do retrieval stuff with it. Play with your dog in the water, the swimming pool. And you can have a good time with all of that stuff. Chuck It also makes an array of rubber balls. Some are small, some are bigger. And they're pretty durable. They're pretty good toys. Some glow in the dark. They have a wide array of toys. You just don't want to leave the weak toys so your dog can have a problem. And a lot of their balls that they do sell are about this size, which it is in turn for a big dog like a Cane Corso or a Presa could be a choking hazard, even a big Shepherd or Mal. So you have to adjust there a little bit and understand the danger. Another big thing a lot of people play with their dogs are tennis balls. Now these are a brand that are made for dogs. Tennis balls also have a problem too. They can be chewed apart easy and then they turn into rubber chunks and then they have a big problem. So tennis balls never unattended. They're cheaper. Tennis balls can come apart with a strong dog. They can turn into chunks and they can create a choking hazard. Also, tennis balls, the felt on them, it really, really gets slobbery and disgusting. So if your dog brings that in your house and drops it, it's just going to be a pile of goo rolling across your floor. They're not very easy to clean like a rubber ball or a Kong, and they're really not very durable. These ones squeak, so they're going to make your dog have chewing tendencies and try to crush the ball, which is going to make it just come apart that much faster. Nerf in the last few years has actually made some pretty good dog toys. This is a Nerf Frisbee. It's actually really, really durable. They make a few other things that are pretty good too. So Nerf dog toys are actually pretty durable and they're pretty good for your dog. Again, unattended, this Frisbee isn't exactly the cheapest thing on the planet. A strong dog can destroy it and can do a lot of damage to it. So to recap for pet dogs, I'd recommend Kongs in any Chuck It brand toy as long as the dog isn't left unattended. And you should learn your dog and see what your dog's capable of. And even though these two are made of a material, it's a very, very different material than what anything in your house is made out of. So they shouldn't have that problem of saying I can chew your couch up or your pillows or anything. But if you were to see that, then you would just have to remove those and problem solve that out down to just straight rubber toys when nothing in your house is made of rubber for the most part. So they should never equivocate that to, hey, I'm chewing on this rubber Kong, so now I'm going to eat your anything that else isn't rubber. So it creates that difference for your dog so they can really understand what's correct and incorrect. On the working side, I use a lot of these same toys on the working side. I use Kongs. They're to pacify my dogs like I talked about. Now sometimes I'll fill this Kong with peanut butter and freeze it and put it in their crate so their crate's a good place. That keeps them busy for a good while and they're pretty easy to clean. Chuck It ball, like I said before, don't leave them unattended. I play kick with them and do some of that stuff outside. You know, you can teach a lot with a kick fetch ball. That's what this is. You can teach a lot of things. Now, primary reward for my working dogs are Star Mark balls. The thing I like about Star Mark balls, this is a Hallmark canine ball, is over the years, I've been doing this for quite a long time, and I've noticed that the balls with the bumps tend to make the dogs mouth the ball a lot. I don't know if the bumps tickle the roof of their mouth or something like that, but they tend to roll it around in their mouth and they tend to start jawing it, which is going to create problems with, say, a fetch or any type of hold. It can even lead over to being chewy on the grip or the bite if you do bite work with your dog. A star mark, it's actually it's durable foam. I wouldn't leave these laying around your house because your dog can tear them up. They're pretty durable, but these are used as my primary reward in training. So they can feel their teeth go in, and they tend to hold these and not roll them around in their mouth, and they're a really durable toy. A bonus is they float, so you can get them with or without a rope. I get a lot of them with ropes, and then when these ropes deteriorate or break, I put a rope through the middle and tie it through that way. Just kind of like this ball, except for the ropes out the bottom. Now this is just a ball I got off of Google. It's a 2-piece ball. You can pretty much see the seam on the side. And this isn't a bad ball. I got them just to test them out. It's not too bad. They come apart after a while. They come in half on the seam. So just got to be careful with what you're buying. I tend to buy a lot of gear, so I just like to test things out. So on the working side, I prefer the Star Mark balls as my primary reward. Now, the last thing we're going to talk about is giving your dog treats, quote unquote. I'm not a treat giver. My dog's food, I want them to eat. I want them to have good food drive, so treats will ruin that. So, bones. Now this is a Red Barn clear bleached white bone. Now these are not horrible. They just cannot be given to your dog unattended, because a dog with a lot of pressure can shard this and then they ingest it and then they create problems. So if you do use these, you want to get the thickest cut possible so you don't have a weak end that can shard, because that can create a lot of problems. I've seen quite a few dogs over the years go to the vet because they swallowed a piece of bone and it's punctured an intestine, something like that. So you have to be careful with these, and you have to monitor your dog when they have them, because they do become brittle, especially over time. If they're in a crate in your car or wherever, they become brittle over time because they're constantly getting attacked. Greenies. A lot of people swear by greenies. When I was in the military, if you got caught giving your dog a greenie, you would get an Article 15, because they were so hard for the dog's stomachs to break down that they couldn't pass them, and then they would have a blockage. And when you're deployed with a dog in 155-degree heat index, that's not a good thing. They're supposed to help clean your dog's teeth, but anything that's hard for your dog to pass, to me, is a problem, because dogs get hot, especially in the summer, and that creates a lot of issues. Rawhide. Rawhide is dehydrated leather. It's pretty much all it is. So when it hits your dog's stomach, it swells up and it makes it really hard for your dog to pass. Now, if you're going to give a rawhide, I would only give it every once in a while to help clean their teeth. Maybe let them chew on it for a half hour once a month. I would prefer that you get something that has the knots on the end. Let them chew on it for 20 minutes, take it away. Give it to it like that, then they can ingest it. And when it starts to get too mangled up, just get them a different one. That will help clean their teeth really well, but you don't want them to be unattended. That's pretty much the good and the bad of it. I would stick to rubber toys. I'd stay away from the cloth toys. Kong is great. Chuck It's pretty good, and Nerf is pretty good too. It's all about the safety of your dog, and we appreciate you watching.